Okay, we can get started. Thank you everybody for joining us this morning. So guidelines, same as before if you've been here before, but you'll be on mute, but please enter any questions you have on the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen. I'll keep an eye on those and we're gonna answer them as we go today. So if you have any questions at any times, just put them in there and we'll do our best to answer them as we go. So today is going to be on the ETS Technical Resource Library and other technical resources that we have available for you. Julie Thorpe, our Technical Support Manager, is going to be our presenter today. Things we're going to go over is what's all available on that Tech Resource Library, how to get access to it, and other technical downloads that we have available for you. So with that, Julie, I'll let you take it away. I also muted you. You have to unmute yourself.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
She just wanted to mute me. These guys would love to mute me most of the time. So we're going to go ahead and start going through the resource library. And I didn't put together a presentation because to me it's easier if we can just go through the actual library itself. So I'm going to share my screen and walk through the Tech Resource Library as it is when you would open it up. And so when you go into the Tech Resource Library, what it is it is full of information on the current product lines that we manufacture along with the older equipment as well. And so you'll see the current equipment, the 2100, 41, 5100, and then know that the 3100 is here as well. That has been at the discontinued product line as far as purchasing it. But we do still support it with tech support and things. So you have your 21, 31, 41, 5100, and those are the residential heating systems, the room units and the furnaces. And then when you're looking for information on the older products, such as the old DLF furnaces, the S-series heaters, maybe some EXTs, you can actually come down to the non-current product lines. And if you double click on that, you'll see room units, centrally ducted, and controls. And so we can actually go in, if we want to look up an S-series heater, we can go into room units and go to the S-series heater, and we can find out all kinds of information about that S-series heater, even though it's an older product. We put together the resource library to enable customers to be able to find information on heating equipment without having to get a hold of tech support. So if you're going out to a site, or if you're busy and can't get through to tech support, you don't have cell phone service, at least you've got some troubleshooting information, some product information that can help you to get through that call. We started out thinking that we would just put information as far as how to troubleshoot systems, and we quickly realized that it's really nice to have all of the information about a system there. So today, if we look at the 2100 series, which is our room units, you can come in and find all of the features. Okay, so if you want to talk to someone about what the features are of the product, if they're looking to purchase it, we have information on that. We have safety information, so what kind of safety devices and precautions do we take? In the safety devices, we'll actually list out the name of the device, the function, where it's located at on the heater. And this information, just so you all know, is available in the Owners and Installers Manual, but the resource library takes it one step further. So what you're able to do is, we talk about the core charging high limit switch, and we have a link here. So you can click on that link. Anytime it turns into a little hand, you can click on the link, and now it'll take you to what that device is. And a lot of times there will be a picture so you know what you're looking for. It'll give you information about what that limit is. It'll talk a little bit about troubleshooting. And then it will also give information in regards to like serial number break-in dates that we might have had. So for this particular one, the core charging high limit switch, we actually went from an auto reset to a manual reset. And we did that on the heaters ending with the serial number 095580. And so what it does is it gives you that place to look to find out if something is backwards compatible or not, okay? And so on this particular one, it says the limit switch used as a replacement must be the same style and type. So what UL did is when we switched, they had us switch from auto to manual reset. They said that whatever the heater is manufactured with, that's what has to be put back in it. And so you can't replace an auto with a manual, and you can't replace a manual with an auto. You need to replace them with what they were built with. And so we give you the serial number break-in in here so that you're able to follow that and know in the field what you need to get for that heater. And then you can click on ordering information, and we'll actually give you the part number that you need to order. So it really is a one-stop spot for finding out what a product is or what a part is, how it works, what it does, and how to order it. Anytime you want to go back, all you need to do is go up here to the top corner. It says hide, back, forward, and print. You just click the back button and it'll take you to the previous screen. And so we can go right back to our features and look at the various features of the heater. Okay, we can go back, we can go forward again, go to those safety devices. Or we can come over here and use the contents tab and again go through the different brackets. So the 2100, now you could click down and look at operation. Anytime you want to close a book to get it closed up, you just double click and it closes that and you go right back to where you were. Okay, so if we go to general operation, it'll tell you how the heater works, and it walks through some different things as far as operation of the heater. How do we turn it on and off? A lot of people get calls this time of year on how to turn their heater back on. If you know what model they have, you just go into that model, go to operation, turning the heater off and on, and it will tell you how to turn the heater off for the season or on again. We can go into installation. We can look at all the installation steps for a heater, and we can actually go through how to install a heater. We can walk through it from shipping and packaging, placement, initial setup. We can secure the heater, load the bricks, everything right through here. It gives you the same information that would be found in the owner's and installer's manual. Again, the difference being that you have links. So if you go to load the bricks, it says to remove the screws on the right side of the galvanized front panel. You can click on that and it'll talk to you about the galvanized front panel. You click the back button and you're right back at your brick loading. And so it just gives you a way to follow through, kind of like going out on the internet and looking at things. This is just the internet for Steffes ETS heating systems. We also include the exploded view for each product line. Your exploded view diagram is interactive as well. So right here, we've got the exploded view from the owner's manual, and I can actually pick apart whatever part I want to. So if I go down here to the blower, I can click on part number 12. It will tell me what the part is, what the part number is to order for the specific model I have. And you can see here, it'll talk about when replacing it, it's important to make sure the blower resistor is correct for the application. If you click on that, it gives you the blower resistor that goes with each fan. So in our 2100 series, you might have a PTEC fan, you might have a Fasco fan. Whichever one you had, this gives you which resistor you need for that fan and that model number. I can go back to my blower again, and I can actually click on the blower assembly. Again, gives me a picture of the blower. The one that's shown here is the old Fasco blower. The PTEC blowers are a matte finish and don't have the rib on the center here. But it talks about the motor resistance. It talks about what the blower does. And then down below here, it says, for more information, refer to the links below. What we try to give you is any flow charts for troubleshooting. So say that the blower's not running, you can come in here, click on the blower doesn't operate. It will give you information about what might be keeping the blower from operating. And then it will also give you information on how to get to the flow chart. So blower does not operate flow chart. And now you have a flow chart that'll walk you through troubleshooting the heater. Again, when you're on a flow chart, There's different times when you'll see the pointer turn into a little hand. So here it says, is the room temperature set point greater than the actual room temperature as shown on the heater's display? If I click there, it takes me to the room temperature control so that I know how the heater's room temperature control works. I go back and I can go back to my flow chart. I get down here further and it says to check voltage across the 5-amp fuse while installed on the base I/O board. I have a little hand, so if I click there, it actually takes me to a picture of the base I/O board so I know which fuse I'm looking for. And you can see here on this particular one, we have 2 fuses. The bottom one is a 5-amp, 250 volt. So when we talk about checking voltage across that, we would have 1 lead on each end of the fuse while it's installed, and we would check voltage across that fuse. And so the flow charts, again, we go back, we're back at our flow chart, and anytime you see the little hand, you can click and advance to more information about what that's telling you. So it's pretty nice in that it's interactive and helps you find the things you're looking for. When you have the printed flow chart, if you didn't know for sure which board was the base I/O board, you would have to look around and try to figure out what we were talking about. Whereas the flow charts in here, you can link, find pictures, find related parts. The other thing that it does for you is if you get to the point that you need to replace the resistor or replace the base I/O board, whatever we're going to replace, when you click on that, it will give you the part numbers so that you know what you need to order. Any questions so far?
Not yet. We don't have any submitted yet.
Okay. The exploded view, the troubleshooting, all of those different things will give you information on how to troubleshoot different error codes that might show up. So you'll see here, we list them by error code. We list by what's happening, heater over under charges. We have technical information on each heater. And so when you go to the technical information, you can find the specifications for that particular product. You can find charts that help you with troubleshooting. So there's a blower damper activation chart. There's information in regards to the UL label. And then different information that you need just on that particular heating system. Underneath that, so under technical information, we also give you the procedures. So when you're looking at a system, if you're working on a 2100 and you see that you need to replace the blower, you can come down to the procedures and find the blower replacement procedure. It'll tell you how to replace that blower, what you need to know, what you need to do, and gives you a little bit of an idea of how much time it's going to take. So a lot of times we have people will call us and say, how long does it take to change a blower in a 2100? What all's involved? This will give you the replacement procedure so you can glance at it and say, oh, okay, so I'm just going to, open up the front cover, take that out and rewire it, make sure I've got the right resistor, look in here, and you have to do a little bit of programming, and then you're done. And so you can kind of assess when you look at these how long it's going to take you to do that. The other thing we include for each model is the wiring diagrams. We include internal wiring, so line voltage wiring for the different products. There's the plug-in heater, and then we have the 240 volt. And so those wiring diagrams are always included on the panels inside the heater, but this way you've also got them to look at if you're not on site. We have the low voltage wiring diagram, and then we have our low voltage peak control and line voltage field wiring. So you can look at those to find the different types of peak control wiring that might go to a room unit, single circuit, multiple circuit feed for line voltage. And anytime you go into these, again, if there's a link, you can click on that link and get more information. So we do these things for each model. So when you look here, the 2100, if you go to the 4100, you'll notice that it's set up the same way. Features, safety, operation, installation, goes right down through the same things. We do add optional accessories when there are optional accessories that someone might want. So when we look at these, we have different options for the supply air blower. We have a downflow kit for the forced air system. We have lifting handles. We have an 18-inch stand, return air plenum, single feed kit. These are all options that you can get with the system. And so if you double click on one of them, you'll get, like the lifting handles, you'll get ordering information and assembly instructions. So I can click on here and see what comes with those lifting handles, how do they attach to the system, and how do they help you move that into place. They also will give you information on getting a hold of sales and things to get the part numbers that you need. And so you can always go back. Here talks about the lifting handles and ordering information. Here's the part number that you would order to get those. We do this for all the different models, including the ones under the non-current product lines. Some other things that are available in the resource library, we have frequently asked questions. These are helpful if you have someone in the office that's getting calls on ETS systems and they aren't quite sure how to answer the calls from the customer. So for instance, they might ask them, how much does it cost to operate the system? And you can come down here and read through kind of what it talks about, how it talks about it's 100% efficient, different talking points that your customer service people can use with homeowners. What happens if it's charged up and I don't need the heat? How do I get heat out of the heater? All those, we've put together some answers for you that can help you with talking to customers and how do you relay that information to the customers. We also include tech tips. So one of the things that Steffes tries to do from the tech support perspective is if we're getting a lot of calls on a particular, a specific type of problem. So for instance, several years ago, I had a lot of calls in 1 week that talked about whether or not they could recess the 2100 series heater. What I do is after I've answered the question several times on the phone, I will put together a little tech tip that we send out as an email to everyone, and then we add them to the tech resource library. So can I recess it into the wall? You know, you can recess the heater, however you need to maintain clearances. And so it gives you the information that you need to know if you were going to help a customer with how or could they, you know, recess that heater into the wall to get it to take less space in their room. Okay. We have information on adding a generator. Can we add a generator? It gives you information on that and how you might do that, how you might set that up. So there's a lot of different tech tips. Flooded ETS systems is one we see quite frequently in the spring, is people talking about a system got flooded, what do we do? This will talk you through what Steffes recommends in regards to a system getting wet, okay? So in here, we give you a lot of different information on problems that we've seen in the field repeatedly. This just gives you kind of a guide as to what we're going to tell you if you call in. There's also a parts locator. This was added just in the last couple of versions. And what it is just for people that are looking for part numbers. So I have a heater. I know that I have a 2000 series heater. I can come in here. It gives you a picture of the heater. So if you aren't sure what model, you can look through and see, you know, is it the EXP where the knob's at the top? Is it an S series where there's a knob down at the bottom? Or is it the 2000 or 2100 with the digital display? So if I have a 2000 series, I can go right to the parts list and I can look through this parts list and find the part that I want, okay? We had talked earlier that on the 2100, you know, if you go to the exploded view, you can find the blower and then you can click on different things. You can do the same thing right from this parts list. And so you can scroll down till you find that blower. And so we can go through the list, and I probably missed it here. I'll be really honest, I use the exploded view all the time. Lost my blower. I have my blower resistor. Okay, I'm just going to click here so you guys see. I go to the blower resistor because I'm not finding blower, and it'll take me to the blower. Gives me the blower assembly, and now I can look at my blower assembly. So if you can't find what you're looking for, there's usually another way to get there. Okay, I go back to my list of parts. If I go back one more, on this 2000 series, there was the exploded view. I can also come in here, and my part is number 37. Okay, so what I was looking for on the parts list was the blower, and it's down here on number 37. So you can find it multiple ways. You can go to your parts list, you can go to your exploded view, or you can go to something that's related to it, like the blower resistor, and you can find a link. So there's not always just one way to find things in here. You can find multiple ways to get to different parts. Back on the parts list, the parts locators, one of the reasons we put these in here is because a lot of people aren't quite sure what model they have. So if they can talk to the homeowner and figure out which heater it is by the picture, they can figure out what they need. So like here, if you have an older furnace, you aren't sure if it's a DLF or an HPB, you can come in here, kind of have an idea of which one it is. And again, you'd be able to find your exploded view, look at different parts on here, and then find the part that you need so that you can get a parts listing, go in and look at those parts. So if I was looking at this particular double loop furnace, one of the parts that you might need to change is the charge control thermostat. You can click on here, and it will give you information about that charge control thermostat. And so helps us to go in and find information to see if that's the part that we're really talking about, and gives you the part numbers so you can order it. Under the controls section, we list a lot of the different controls. Again, these are current ones that we manufacture that are listed up on top. We have our transceiver. We have our remote room temperature sensor. We give you the features and specifications, ordering information, installation instructions, and troubleshooting, all in regards to these controls. So the Theban time clock, we give you how to set that up. The time clock modules for the current equipment, we give you that information. How do you set them up? How do you install them? Any of that current control information is here. If you have older controls, you can come down into the non-current product line, and you can go to controls. And here are some of the older controls that we have information on. Know that some of the controls that were used 30 years ago, we don't have any information because they were manufactured by another company, and we don't have their documentation. So some of the stuff we have in here, some we don't. Certainly, if you're not finding what you need, call us. We can try to help you out with what we have available. The information we have in here is what we had at our fingertips when we were putting stuff together. And so certainly let us know if there's something missing. Any questions on the resource library?
No questions submitted yet still.
Okay, we will go ahead and move on to where you would find this, how you would get it downloaded, and some other options that we have. So Allie, I'll have you go back to that presentation.
It's loading up here. Can you see it?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So if you want to access the tech resource library and you don't have it, so you can get it from us. We can actually send it out to you on a jump drive if you need us to, if you need to get that way. The other thing you can do is you can access the tech resource library and other tech downloads from our website. And so you would go to www.steffes.com and the ETS section. So you can do /ETS and it'll take you right in there. When you do that, up at the top, you'll see the Steffes logo in the top left corner. And across the top, you'll see ETS home, homeowner. If you go over to where it says dealers and click on that, just click on the dealers, you'll come down below and it'll say become a dealer or distributor. If you don't have our dealer login yet, you go down to where you see the red circle on the screen where it says, please follow this link to register. And all you have to do is click on that link and it will ask you for your information. You submit that registration and it will come in to us and we will approve and get you signed up, okay? It does go through an approval process because it's not a location where we will allow homeowners to log into because we do have all of our troubleshooting information. And so for liability purposes, it's not something we can publish out to every homeowner. So it is locked down to our dealers and distributors, the power company people we're working with, that type of thing. So we do have you submit, we approve it, and then you'll be able to log in. Once you've logged in, then we can access that and really look at information. We can go down, once you've been logged in and you've got your technical login, you can either go up to that dealer screen, click on it, and it'll give you the technical login, or you can go to the dealer login down at the bottom, and it says dealer login technical support. Once you click on either of those and log in, it's going to take you to the next screen, which will give you all the different manuals, procedures, ETS training information. So we have some pre-recorded trainings that you can watch. And up at the top, you'll see Technical Resource Library V7.03. And that's where you can download that one that we just went through. We also have a resource library for the 9100 series Thermalect systems. A few of you may have those installed on your power company's lines. That is also there. So any of our troubleshooting information we try to make available through this download page. And that's a place where you guys can go in, you can download them, you can print the flow charts, the manuals, different things like that. Okay. Any questions?
I don't see any questions that have popped up. So if you have questions later, though, as you're going through things, just feel free to reach out and we'll help you then as well. But yeah, so thank you for everybody for joining us this morning and those who have joined us for multiple webinars over this series. I'm going to be sending out an email after this, just looking for some feedback for the series as a whole on each of our webinars. And if you have any suggestions for topics we should cover in the next series, definitely let us know. We'd welcome any feedback you have. So thank you everyone for joining us today and have a good day.
Thank you, guys.